Hello there and welcome to episode 2 of my TNA 2010 save. It's Monday, week 2, January 2010. We're in the Bob Martinez Sports Center in Florida. And it's time for TNA Impact. So we kick off the show. Kurt Angle comes out to the ring and he talks about his history with Samoa Joe. Obviously, his debut was with Samoa Joe. And Samoa Joe's taken the title off him before, and he's taken the title off Joe. They have a lot of history. And he pulls out a contract from his suit jacket and says it's for a match at Genesis to end their everlasting feud. His signature is already on it. He just needs Samoa Joe to come out and sign it, and it will make it official. Samoa Joe appears, having come out from the crowd, and locks in the rear naked choke. The coquina clutch, whatever we want to call it in this day and age. Chokes out Angle, leaves him on the floor, and signs the contract over his unconscious body. Pat Kenny wasn't great as a road agent, but everyone else is brilliant in this segment. Also, yeah, we are using a bit more of a modern photo of Joe, but mainly because I don't want to have him do the face paint gimmick right now. Absolutely, though, great penalties. Angle's got low morale, which we'll sort that out eventually. But Joe's got high morale, though, which is pretty good. 79 rating, good start to the show. And we open up with the match which was announced last week. Desmond Wolfe defeats D'Angelo Dinero in 11:14 with the London Dungeons. Gets a 64 for Wolfe, a 59 for Dinero, which is a 65 overall. Pretty good stuff for an opener. Goes 11 minutes, not too shabby. At this point, Dinero's got a poor gimmick. Everyone and announcing is the only negative, but we are keeping this announced team together. We're probably going to end up making sure that they're doing Explosion as well instead of Jeremy Borash, poor guy. Just to make sure that we do have more experience for this team. A 65 rating, though, is a good start. We then get the rest of British Invasion coming out, and obviously this isn't everybody in this segment because you're only allowed 8 people. And British Invasion come out, so it's Wolfe, Williams, Magnus, and Terry. And they get interrupted by Beer Money. And they claim they are the greatest tag team in the world. They've just won at Wrestle Kingdom 4 over in Japan, so they think they should get a title shot here. Mostly Machine Guns come out, saying that, hold up. Yeah, you've been over in Japan. We've been here, grinding. We won last week against Christopher Daniels and Rhino, 2 top stars in this company. Why are we not in line with this title? Generation Me come out, and they're clear. Yo, you guys, why are you guys always getting the shots? Why is it never a team? When is it never our turn? Basically, yeah, they're hyping up the whole entitled millennial gimmick. Because I can't change it I can't change it on a dime. Let's put it that way. Hogan comes out and he announces that they will have a match right now. It's going to be British Invasion of Doug Williams, Brutus Magnus, and Rob Terry versus one member of Beer Money, one member of the Motor City Machine Guns, and one member of Generation Me, brother. 53 rating. Deserved better announcing and better colour. Doug Williams was not great on the mic. Shelley wasn't great. Hogan was amazing, which is annoying because he's an arsehole. Yeah, Sabin and Shelley aren't great baby faces, we knew that. Still, we move forward. And we have the match, British Invasion versus James Storm, Alex Shelley, and Max Buck. And it is the Oddshot team which pick up the victory when Max Buck pins Rob Terry with the moonsault. Terry was obviously the weak link, which is why he's getting pinned. I think people would much rather believe Terry's getting pinned because he's not great and he's not much of an enforcer for them than any of the other guys in this match. But also Alex Shelley foreshadowed a heel turn in this match. The highest rated performer was James Storm. Doug Williams a close second. But pretty good showing off our tag division has some decent depth. We then get ODB and Tara come out and they're like, after this win last week, they want to settle this at Genesis. But Hamada comes out and she's like, hold on. You two? Again? You do realise there are other knockouts in this division who could beat you, who could kick your asses. ODB and Tara both came up with new catchphrases in this one segment, so clearly they did quite well. But Hamada pretty much comes in and says, why? Why should everyone be happy just sitting back and watching you two fight again and again and again? It's all it's been for ages. I want to try. Give me a shot. And I promise you, you will regret it. It's 58 rating. We're going to get a tag team match. The tag champions, Taylor Wilde and Sarita, basically just getting a few defences under their belt. Taylor Wilde and Sarita, they defeat the Blossom twins, the two British twins. Which also gives me the really annoying uncanny valley of having Hannah in both pictures. You can see him and Holly's there. Because it's the same picture split into two, but their heads are touching so you can see each other. It's really uncanny valley. But Wilde and Sarita pick up the victory, 47 each. The Blossoms much lower, 14 and 17. Holly, the higher rating. These girls are young. They've got potential, I think. Based on what I can see in the game, I think this is definitely a situation where I think in like 5 years or so, I reckon the Blossom twins will be Knockouts champs with putting out great matches. 38 rating though, not too shabby. And then the beautiful people come out and they start laying down Wilde and Sarita. So it's 3-on-2 and a debut makes the save. It's Amy Dumas. The former Lita is in the impact zone. Well, not literally because we're no longer in the impact zone, but she's joined Impact. But yes, Lita, Amy Dumas, has signed for TNA. Because basically, at this point, I know she technically retired, but she's not listed as retired in the game. And she's still really young. It was just part of that thing where in the 2000s, the women's wrestlers were discarded of so young. Which is the reason why we still get people like people from the Attitude Era coming back and being able to wrestle today, over 20 years later in the women's division, and it doesn't feel as garish as, say, like a Goldberg coming back, because all of the women were discarded so young. We're not going to let that happen, so Amy Dumas is going to get to finish off her career in TNA. 42 rating. So Bobby Lashley and Crystal being interviewed backstage by Dom West, and they talk about what they're going to spend their pay increase on when Bobby Lashley becomes champion, because let's face it, it's not an if, it's a when. Fancy suits, fast cars, the life of luxury is already in their hands. And they're just going on about this boastful promo when AJ Styles flies into the shot and starts trying to attack Lashley, but he gets overpowered quickly and gets hit with the Dominator Slam backstage on the floor, and it looks painful. It's AJ in 2010, he's going to take some painful bumps. But Bobby Lashley just goes back to the mic and just like, I told you, you don't get to go to the Dominator and leave in control of your body. 55 rating, good stuff. Again, the gimmicks and the experience is what we need to work on. We then get a bit of a little showcase match here, as fresh after, I think, retaining the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles with Tiger Mask 4 at Wrestle Kingdom, Jushin Thunder Liger's here. And he's just here to take on Shannon Moore in an exhibition match. Shannon Moore is the #1 contender for the X Division title. Liger is going to appear more regularly. We do obviously have the agreement with TNA at this point. I think Okada's already been and gone. I think. So we're not going to be able to fix that mess. Actually, no, I don't think Okada has gone yet. He might still could be able to come on excursion at some point. But a 50 rating, 50 for Liger, 47 for Moore, and it is Shannon Moore though who picks up the win, hitting the corkscrew neckbreaker on Liger. Gets a 50 rating. Liger is a phenomenal asset for this X division, and hopefully one day we'll be able to get him on an extended period of time, because I don't want to use him every week because that's not realistic. New Japan also hosts a TV show on Monday, so it's not fair on them to take one of their top stars in the junior division at this point away from them. So every so often we will have Liger, and then eventually at some point we'll be able to get him for an extended period of time, similar to how AEW has Konosuke Takeshita in modern day. It's like he'll appear here and there, and then feel like he'll have like a 3-month period where he's there consistently, and that's all part of the fun with these Japanese excursions. 50 rating though. And then Red comes out and bombs on the mic, as does Shannon Moore. Don West is the Reds manager. I didn't know that. 40 rating though. Basically, it's just Red comes out, holds up the belt. It's the classic champion challenger face off. No, we'll say no words, even though it's clear they were awful words. We gave it a try though, let's be honest. 40 rating, not too shabby. And then we find out the main event will have Jeff Hardy and Sting teaming up against the Outsiders, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. This is very much the using the old stars to put over the new, because it's Jeff Hardy who picks up the win, pinning Scott Hall with the Swanton Bomb. I'm pretty sure 75% of this match are going to be declining physically. Sting is, Nash is, and Hall is 75% spot on. Jeff obviously isn't yet, but Jeff Hardy pins Scott Hall with the Swanton Bomb. A great little segment. And Scott Hall gets a large boost to psychology, which is great news. And then a man in a hoodie jumps the barricade and attacks both Sting and Hardy, beating them down with a microphone from ringside, beating them down, laying metal shoulders. He leaves them just laying in the ring. They've just had a long match, and now they've been beaten up with a mic, which has been used as quite a weapon in quite a few places. And he starts talking into the mic, announcing himself as the future of pro wrestling, taking his hood and mask off to reveal Mr. Anderson. But yeah, Mr. Anderson is in TNA. So this is around the time he came in real life. And he's going straight into almost the main event picture, starting a feud with Jeff Hardy and Sting, I think. But yeah, 64 rating, great stuff. And that is the overall show. Gets a 61, it's not as good as last week. And for the first time, we lose a popularity point, which is a shame. We had two great segments. The Jeff Hardy and Sting versus the Outsiders match was amazing, and that opening segment with Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe was also really good. So I'm not going to say this episode was a failure. We also debuted Amy Dumas, Mr. Anderson, the Blossom Twins, Jushin Thunder Liger, and there's so many more people that we can bring in. It's exciting. So let's go and see what Explosion has to offer tonight. And so Explosion kicks off with Awesome Kong defeating Roxy. Just over 11 minutes with a sit-out powerbomb. 45 for Kong, for 38 for Roxy. So it's a pretty good ratings for both of them. Again, these two are very much upper mid-card. Kong's definitely going to be main event. Roxy, mid-card in the women's division. We go through... They're absolutely great. They're both obviously holding back on the B show. So that does give me, I think, there's an extra couple of points in there. Probably get Kong up to 50, Roxy in the low 40s. Like, just from putting them on Impact. We also found out we're in front of 2,701 people today. Not too shabby. I think that's... Is that an increase in attendance from last week? I can't actually remember. We then get the next The next episode of the ECW alumni being squashed by modern talent as Lethal Consequences. Consequences Creed and Jay Lethal, Black Machismo, defeat Raven, Dr. Stevie, when Jay Lethal pins Stevie with the flying elbow drop, the macho drop. 50 rating, 51 for Machismo, 43 for Creed, 54 for Raven, 44 for Dr. Stevie. So just think, even though the stamina issues, Stevie was better than Creed, and Raven was better than Black Machismo. So there's definitely, it's not like these guys are completely gone beyond the wayside yet, but they're definitely not there anymore. They're not at the point where they can go for what I need to be for me to treat them as a legitimate tag team at this point. Frankie Kazarian defeats Cody Deaner in 13 minutes 15 seconds with the leg trapped sunset bomb. I don't know what that looks like. I can't even picture that, to be honest. Gets a 49 rating though, 55 for Kazarian, 34 for Deaner. Honestly, I didn't realise Deaner had been around TNA for so long. Both held back, obviously it's understandable, it's a B show. Gets a 49 rating though, and our main event for the global title. Brother Devon loses to Eric Young in 1735 with the wheelbarrow neckbreaker to make Eric Young makes his first defense of the global title. Devon gets a 59, Young a 47. 51 though overall, is pretty good. As I said, it's a B show. Both holding back, so you could probably add a couple onto their performance. 50s for Young, 60s for Devon. But we will probably be looking at Young versus Bully Ray, or Brother Ray at this point, at Genesis. Overall, we get a 50, which isn't too shabby. I can't remember if that's an increase or decrease from last week. It might have been a 51 last week. But we keep going because we're early in this save. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of these two episodes. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.